As fans of a team that rode the fast break offense to a national championship in 1993, we should be people that appreciate change and innovation. Up through this point, my videos have been written, recorded, and edited on my own. And these solo videos will continue, of course, but my colleagues over at Tomahawk Nation had an idea. What if we all sat down and discussed Norvell's 2019 season game by game, in the same vein as the coach's film room that plays during the college football playoff? This would allow different insights and perspectives to play out in a more natural setting, something that resembles the way coaches will look at film following one of their games. Since there are 4 of us in the film room, we thought there was no more apt name for this segment than the 4 Verticals. This first video is going to take you through several key plays in Memphis' win over Ole Miss in the first game of the 2019 season. I hope this offers a more relaxed and insightful look into Mike Norvell's scheme and game plan. I hope you enjoy and let us know what you think in the comments below.
All right, so on this play, you've got 4 receivers from Memphis here. They're going to be running 3 verticals, and they're going to end up going to the slot receiver who ends up running the 3rd vertical out against the safety who comes back and plays middle of the field. Adam, you want to take us through a little bit of this?
Okay, so we're going to get 2 hitches on the outside, and those are just for show. If everybody just bails, you just throw it underneath and get free yards. They're going to run verticals with the 3 inside guys. So the 2 guys at the top of the screen, the 1 kid at the bottom here. Safety is going to drop in the middle of the field, and White is going to manipulate him. And whichever way he goes, he's going to go the opposite. So he goes to the top of the screen into the boundary. He's going to come back down here to the slot on the field side. That kid does a nice job. It looks like he runs a little bit of a stutter to get the corner to kind of squat, and then he stacks on top of him and goes to the end zone, and White just kind of overthrows him a little bit.
So right here you can see Brady White's shoulders. He's manipulating the safety. He's trying to get him to go towards the middle of the field to open up this little vertical route on the seam.
And he's got him because that safety just keeps moving over towards the boundary side there. And
the backer for Ole Miss does a poor job. I mean, he's got to get some sort of reroute there. You see him up the top of the screen there, collisioning. This kid does nothing. He doesn't touch him, which is probably why this play ends up being, well, incomplete, but successfully run.
Right, and then watch this wide receiver on the vertical route get some distance from the safety. Give the quarterback plenty of room to throw it. I mean, he still doesn't make the throw, but he's got the room to do it.
Concepts there, execution just ends up being off.
And one thing that helps is that field side corner there, he ends up sitting because of that hitch. He ends up seeing that, and then boom, squats right there. And then the dude just runs from by.
It's a great job by White getting that safety out of there, though. I mean, look how far he's got to run, and then with the receiver creating that space like Kevin had talked about. You just create a big window for yourself to drop the ball into. He just misses it.
Yeah,
he misses that massive window.
All right, let's move on.
All right, so here's a play where they actually started in shotgun with two backs in the backfield. The bottom side of the screen shifts and moves over into the wing. So you have a 2 tight end look there with 1 on the wing. And that's a pretty quick indication that based on the numbers and the fact that they're completely out-gapped, they're going to run here. Then they're going to run what the old wing T guys would call 82 down.
So you see the front side, why the old wing T guys call it down. You get the 2 down blocks, and then you get the guard kicking out the first man outside of the tackle. You're going to get that back or that second tight, that wing up on the corner, and then you're just looking one-on-one with the safety. You want your running back you expect to win that battle. The safety makes a nice play here. So you take a look, on the right side of the center, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gaps with 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders. And then when the guard pulls and kicks, ends up creating a 6th gap So you got six gaps on 4 down here. That's a big advantage for your offense.
You've done all that outside and into space, so you have room for your guy to work too. So I mean, it's a really nice play design. So was there anything else here, like for example, about this wasn't paired with a pass concept that created any space.
No, but I wonder if at some point you could pair, especially being under center, that safety over top of the slot is what he's 8 yards off. I mean, you could see that at some point.
And for example, the nice part about this thing being over gaps, if you're here where they're set right at the line, if the play side or the boundary side safety rolls down to even up the gaps, then all of a sudden you got to play on the field side. You've got numbers that route concept up there.
Right.
Right. And he'd often pair this, like we said, with a bubble. It didn't do it here, but he could do it with a bubble screen, especially when that gums right inside the defender right there on the line. He kind of cheats inside a little bit. So you might have a throw there if you wanted to do something like that.
That's the old Jimbo auto check there.
Right.
Oh yeah, I think this is going to be in the day. Yeah, this is going to be a lot like Jimbo's his 11. If you got the back and the tight end on the same side, run that quarterback sweep.
Oh yeah,
that was one of my favorite calls from that era. You'd get at least 2 of those a game. But yeah, I mean, you can see on the top side here where they'd easily be able to get a route concept there, like a slant flat or something like that, or a bubble that they could pair this with, and very easily with a shift from the offense change to that.
Right, and I do really like how Norvell uses the wing. He always gets them out on the edge in space where he can find somebody to block. So the guy who plays that spot's got to be able to do that. But he does it consistently so they outflank the defense, and I think that's pretty good.
Well, the great part is look, I mean, they put their linemen in position to be successful. I mean, you start pulling guys and working angles, and that's just, you start doing a lot of this gap blocking, and you get kids in a position to have success, and frankly, that's what this offensive line needs.
Well, that's been one of the big takeaways, especially watching this particular game between Memphis and Ole Miss. You see a lot of positions where their offensive linemen are not in a struggling. And I think the next play that we're going to look at is one where they do a throwback, but they put their guys in a very good position, so that they don't have to, if you have a tackle who's not physically capable of getting, 4 or 5 chop steps against a good defensive lineman and setting wide, you can move a guard around and make it a little bit easier on them.
Right. But I mean, on paper, Ole Miss's D-line is better than Memphis's O-line. Is what they're doing. I mean, you're talking about a 10-yard gain here.
And with a good back, it would have been probably a touchdown.
Yeah, I think so.
Even though the safety made a nice play, but I think a good back could might have even cut that up inside on him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Set it up earlier.
Yep.
And Norvell's just waiting for those one-on-one opportunities on the outside. You can see him take them all day. He's going to use Terry and just lick his chops when he sees a one-on-one matchup like that.
Yeah, that's why I question somewhat about the passing concept at the top of the screen there, because I mean, you think about Terry and Thompson in the slot there. I mean, what's that look like? Or Terry and Brian Robinson, or Terry and DJ. That's
you put Terry in the slot there and you run smash, and you got something cooking there.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you.
So in this play, we have 2 tight end under center setup. It looks like they're going to be running, so it's 1 running back, 2 tight ends, 12 personnel. Ole Miss has 7 men in the box, and safety's pushed up with it. They look like they're expecting a run. And, of course, Norvell and Memphis go with play action, and they suck the linebackers in. And as they're doing it, they do a roll to the boundary side, and they eventually do a throwback screen here. And one thing you'll notice is that it really pulls the linebackers in when they see the guard pulling, because it looks a lot like some of the gap schemes they've been running on offense for blocking. Yeah, so that you see that guard pulling out there into space. He's basically like a personal protector for Brady White here.
Mm-hmm. This is not something we saw much of out of the last 2 years. I mean, just move in the pocket.
No, that was a criticism of previous Florida State coaches, is that there was nowhere near enough moving in the pocket, especially with a quarterback like Blackman, who was actually pretty decent on the run. So it's one of those things that it's good to see that you're going to have something that'll probably use your guys' strengths. And in this case, when you're able to get Brady White a little bit of extra time, may not always make the throw, but it'll help you out.
Yeah.
And Ole Miss has a pretty talented defensive line, and it's a pretty nice pocket right there that they've got.
Yeah, they got a nice setup up at the top of the screen where the roll goes to, and then they do a good job of hinging on the backside to get the back involved also. So, I mean, you end up with almost a max protect concept. They leave the one tight end in, so you get the one tight end in the back. So, I mean, you've got 7 guys in protection.
You've only got 3 guys out running routes. It is full, true max protect play action.
Yep.
Right. The guy at the bottom here is obviously running the clear out.
Yeah, I really like the design of this play, with this wide receiver clearing out, this crossing route coming right underneath it. Norvell knows that they're probably playing some sort of cover 3 or cover 4. It's what they ran most of the game. So, no, it's a really nicely designed play that just gets a guy wide open.
Yeah, and what's great is you get the crosser with the wide guy, gets cover 4. Who's picking him up? Well, the backers are, and they're in play action trying to stop the run that's not happening.
And then the corner that's on that other side, he's not sitting, he's in a deep spot because of that clear out route.
And the other thing that's just a little small detail, but your tight end to the bottom of the screen here, the backer who should be chasing this crosser is chasing that tight end, he's trying to collision, pass him off. He gets his back turned.
Right, and that tight end's running like a post out there or flag to the sideline. So, if the crosser is covered, he can come back and it's basically a throw right down the sideline.
Yep.
Yeah, you'd probably see that open against like cover 2, for example, but in cover 4, he just doesn't get there. But it gives you options on this play because you basically have, seam, the corner, and then the cross under.
I wonder if that works like a rub route right there between the tight end and the crosser.
So this kid right here, so he ends up spending so much time focusing on getting hands on that tight end and collision in him. I mean, look how out of position he is, and he's the one that should be getting depth here to try to pick up that crosser. He's out of position. I mean, there's no chance he can make that play.
It's just a really well designed play all around.
Yeah.
Yep.
You get the action going one way and you throw it back. I mean, a better throw here, not 6.
Yep.
That seems to be the theme of this. Like Brady White up, you're not going to see that same level of play at Florida State. Hopefully, although I mean, he did a very good job for them moving the offense and getting them in the right positions and taking what was there. He went to make a throw. It wasn't a good throw. A better throw would have been a touchdown potentially, but he was very good at setting things up and being in position to move the ball down the field. That's one thing that Norvell is going to prize above most other things, as far as quarterback goes, is consistency and accuracy.
Agreed.
This is the first video that Tomahawk Nation is putting out with a film review crew. Join us throughout the offseason and going into the year as we break down film of Norvell's previous stops and his future home at Florida State.